Belokranjska Pogača, also known as caraway salted flatbread or Focaccia bread. This is a traditional bread served in Bela Krajina, which translates to white Carniola. It is a region located in southeastern Slovenia, nestled against the Kolpa River, which forms the natural borders with Croatia. This is a recipe that holds a very special place in my heart because my dad was born there, which makes me half Belokranjka. This is a recipe that was passed down to me from my Staramama, and I am so happy to share it with all of you today. Are you ready? Let's get started. So let's begin by preparing the yeast. We're going to need 100 milliliters of warm milk, 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast, and half a teaspoon of sugar. Then we're just going to mix it well, and then we're going to set it aside somewhere to help it rise and activate for about 10 minutes. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you don't miss any new recipes. Next, we're going to sift 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And now we're just going to make a hole or a well in the center of the flour, and then we're going to sprinkle 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt around the flour, making sure that it doesn't get into the well. Okay, so the yeast is ready and it's activated. We're going to be adding that to the well, making sure that we scrape down and get every last bit of the yeast. And we're going to add in 200 milliliters of lukewarm water. And now we're going to use our fingertips, and we're just going to fold the outside of the flour and salt into the well. And then we're just going to keep mixing until it comes together into a rough dough ball. Perfect. This is exactly what we want. We just want it to come together. Now we're going to soak our counter with some water. We're going to make sure that our hands are nice and wet as well. And then we're just going to continue kneading for about 10 minutes until we get a really nice soft dough. And for those of you that want to use your stand mixer, you can also do that using your hook attachment, and you can mix the dough with a timer for about 8 to 10 minutes on low setting. Okay, so the dough ball is perfect and ready to go. Now we're just going to place the dough ball into a bowl that has been rubbed with a little bit of olive oil. And then we're going to be covering the bowl completely with saran wrap and a kitchen towel. We're going to place it in a warm area so it can rise for no longer than 30 minutes or until the volume has doubled in size. Okay, perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be flouring the surface that we're working on. And we're going to be pushing down and flattening with our fingertips. Where our palm is, we're going to make sure that the center of the Pogaca is a little bit higher than it is on the edge. And we continue to flatten. I like to flatten it until the disc is about 30 centimeters in size. We're almost at 30 centimeters, but what I like to do is transfer it onto the parchment paper. That way I continue to flatten until we achieve the size that we're looking for. Or you can also use a greased baking pan with either oil or butter, and then you can just transfer it over at this time and continue flattening until you get the size that you're looking for. Okay, so we're just going to get our egg wash ready. So we're going to need 1 egg, and we're also going to add in a couple of drops of olive oil, and we're just going to slightly beat it, and this is going to give us that beautiful glow on top of our pogača. Okay, and now we're ready to cut inclined lines that are about 4 centimeters apart. And we want to make sure when we're cutting the lines that we're not going right through to the bottom. We're only going about 1/4 of the way in. That'll give us those nice guided lines, so it'll be perfect when we're ready to tear it apart. And now it's time to add the egg wash. We're going to use a brush, and we're just going to brush it on all over the dough. And finally, it's time to sprinkle on the salt. I like using sea salt, coarse salt. You can also add in cumin seeds, rosemary. The traditional way is using caraway seeds. My family, we like dry rosemary, so that's what I'm sprinkling over top today. Then we're just going to be placing it into the center oven at 350 degrees, and we're going to let it bake for 15 minutes. And after 15 minutes, we're going to increase the heat of the oven to 425 degrees, and we're going to let it bake for another 6 to 8 minutes longer. Ooh, it smells so delicious. You can see that it's got a beautiful golden color. And the best way to know if it's cooked through is by tapping the bottom of the pogača with your fist. And if it sounds hollow, you know it's baked and ready to be eaten. And there you have it, traditional Belokranjska Pogača, also known as caraway salted flatbread or Focaccia bread. If you enjoy watching my videos, please give me a great big thumbs up below. Subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss any new recipes. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next week when I share another delicious recipe from my Slovenian kitchen. Until then, na zdravje and dober tek. Adio!